Despite the initial hype for this family of products has dissipated, almost all Moto G have proved to be excellent products. Let's discover the new G7 Plus. Package. Inside the package, you will find the smartphone wrapped inside a transparent silicone case. We then have a 27 watts power adapter and a USB to USB-C cable. Build and ergonomics. The lines remain very similar to those of the previous generation. We have a polished metal shell that encloses a rounded glass back, that is very pleasant both to the eye and to the touch. The smartphone is neither lightweight nor thin, but it sits well in hand and does not slip, even without using the included cover. The fingerprint reader on the front has vanished, now integrated into the circular recess on the back, together with the company logo. It is a very stylish smartphone that definitely stands out in its price range. In addition, it is still splash resistant. Hardware. The spec sheet is mundane, and is quite similar to last year's model. We have a 1.8 GHz octa-core Snapdragon 636 processor, an Adreno 509 CPU, 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal memory. The memory is expandable with the use of a microSD card, and since the tray has a triple slot, it doesn't affect the possibility of using two SIM cards. This phone also sports good connectivity, with LTE up to 600 megabits per second, dual-band AC Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5, NFC, and even FM radio. There is also a 3.5mm audio jack, and the fingerprint reader is very quick and precise when unlocking. Also good is the stereo sound provided by the lower speaker, as is the earphone capsule positioned on the upper edge of the phone. Camera. The Moto G7 Plus is equipped with a dual camera module, that consists of a 16-megapixel f-stop 1.7 optically stabilized sensor, paired with a secondary 5-megapixel f-stop 2.21, responsible for depth of field calculations, and blur effects in portrait mode. Photos are of higher quality than what we are used to in this price range, and perfectly in line with what we had seen last year with the Moto G6 Plus, which produces some amazing shots. In low light conditions the quality naturally drops a notch, but the photos are still usable on social media. In these cases the exposure is imperfect, but we have to turn a blind eye considering the price of the device. Selfies taken with the 8-megapixel front camera are also good, even though no better than last year's phone. Videos are decent, and can be recorded in 4K. Image stabilization helps a lot, but at maximum resolution the image shows a bit of flickering. This time around, in addition to the classic modes, such as panorama or slow motion, we also have the option of black and white photos and animated GIFs display. The biggest novelty of this smartphone is definitely the presence of the 6.2-inch display with Full HD Plus resolution, 1080 by 2270 pixels. It uses IPS technology, and has good brightness and well-calibrated colors. Despite the increase in size, this smartphone has very similar proportions to its predecessors. This was achieved thanks to the reduction of bezels, and the introduction of a water drop notch at the top of the screen. It's not the most compact notch we've seen, but it's not too invasive either, and allows for the display to go as close to the top edge as possible. Software. As always, Motorola offers almost stock Android with a touch of Moto magic. The device runs Android 9 Pie, with almost no customization, except those present in the Moto app. The app gives us the possibility to activate convenient navigation gestures, and the famous Moto actions that activate various functions through simple gestures or movements. In addition, we have Moto Display, that allows for notifications to show up even when the phone is locked, and to reply to messages without having to unlock the device. Last but not least, there is Moto Voice, that reads to us our incoming messages, and notifies us of incoming calls when it recognizes that we are driving. Overall, the user experience is fast and reactive as always. A mini pixel, as we defined it in the past, but without the instant updates. Autonomy. There was a slight step back from a 3200 to a 3000 mAh unit. Despite this, and thanks to the adoption of a better CPU, the phone still offers a remarkable autonomy. It will always get you at the end of the day, and in addition, it still supports turbo power fast charging. Price. The price has unfortunately risen. It still has an honest price tag, although not as competitive as last year's. However, it is definitely destined to drop in the coming months. Final verdict. The Motorola Moto G7 Plus is the Moto G we expected. It's a solid device that cuts some corners on the CPU department, but not on the overall user experience. It also sports things like the USB-C port, FM radio, triple slot tray, audio jack, and NFC. The price is higher than before, but it is justified by the better and bigger new display.